allowed the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us today. It is brunch time with Maiyegun. Live. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, like it, then share it to invite your friends and not so friendly friends, your frenemies, and tell them that Maiyegun today. Storm in the teacup of the conspirators that brought about the calamities that is facing Nigerians today. The elrufai clan, as well as the Jaga Bandit clan. Wahala ti ṣẹlẹ̀.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Adìyẹ ti ra.
We were pressured to sign the Samoa EU deal agreement. That is the latest defense from Thiefnubu's camp, having offended the core Sharia North, who publicly says LGBTQ is the reason why Nigeria should not be part of it. But there were senators who pushed it. There is a letter, a confirmed letter from the Nigerian National Assembly encouraging Thiefnubu to sign it. Now, same National Assembly members are currently rejecting it. So the government says, well, we did sign it because they told us to. Thank you. But today, good morning to you once again, and good afternoon to you. Good evening to you as well. Top of the moment to you. I don't know if it is all over the UK. In Scotland today, we are having what is the bank holiday, so to say. So not everyone is working today. So if you happen to be one of those who is enjoying that off day today, thanks for joining me. So those of you whose morning, are just beginning, like your morning is just beginning, you can listen to this like you are listening to a podcast on your way to work, even at work. Plug it in, you don't have to watch the video. And everyone else, right? You are welcome to the temple. This moment, while that thing happened, it was last night, between last night and this morning, it was actually last night, that one protege of Thiefnubu, Omatseye, I think it's Sam Omatseye, so who works with the Nigeria, the Nation newspaper, dropped a stinger, sort of, and this stinger was straight at the el-rufi's clan, like father, like fraud. Things have escalated so seriously, so we'll come back to that. Also, last night, I did a 90-minute broadcast trying to further expose the ongoing underground scheme where those who are juggling or angling for a national protest are busy mobilizing themselves and all that, while others continues to call out the Igbos. The Igbos who have made their position known online, many of them said, it is not out of a cowardice, so don't participate in their protest because they will eventually blame you for it. Others are saying if they are not protesting against what they brought upon Nigeria and you don't see them actually doing it, don't join them. All of these are coming from the past experiences. It is not to kind of pity the Igbos. I have said this many times on this platform. Igbos do not need anybody's pity. In fact, to them, it is their own fight that they are ready to die for. They have identified and acknowledged their place in the contraption like Nigeria, the lie. But there are others who sort of feel like maybe this contraption can be saved or not, you know? But we also see those who are pushing the tribal angle of it. And I said, you do not need any ego before you can go out there and face the criminals destroying your lives. And they are not the excuse why you won't do it, because we know the motive behind specifically calling out the egos. So somebody came here, I don't know if they are watching now, I've yanked them off this platform, so well, they can still watch, right? And they came on and they were like, why was I pandering towards the Igbos as if to say Nigeria is indeed marginalizing them? What is your problem? Every day, Igbo, this. I was like, it's like somebody's, what do you call it? Somebody's inner nerve. I am actually touching some nerves right here. You know, we talk about how we have so many people who are like the bigots. I'm sorry, closet bigots. They will tell you, once you see anybody that starts a statement with, see, Maiyegun, me, I'm not a bigot. I'm not a tribal bigot. But I just want to say something. You see, I just want to advise our Igbo brothers. They need to mend their ways. They need to learn how to be this or that. You see, me, I love our Igbo brothers. You are a closet bigot. You are just trying to manage it, suppress it. And I said, Igbos don't need your advice. Okay? Most of you should take your own advice and leave them out of it. You're making them their targets. And I didn't kind of pull that from the thing here. People are already hosting spaces. There are already social media campaign that they are already making it look like now the Igbo people, they asked for protest in Nigeria. And we know why. We know those who are pushing this narrative, right? It's not because they care about any tribe or anybody. It is because politically it is advantageous. And I said it here many times. I said, from nowhere, they will blame the Igbos. A lot of people said they were not really paying, they are like not consciously paying attention, until they started seeing that, man. So there were actually narratives that some of you somehow agree with. And you are doing so innocently, not knowing that you are being psychologically recruited into their tribal, ethnic, and religious war for political gain. And that's how we point it out here. Now, you are hearing about Igbos. Please join. Igbo, come and join. And I pointed out that there are actually people who drive that narrative. These are not just gossip. These are not just the apologists. There are actually established institutions that were saddled with this responsibility. I'll give you an example that just happened. This one just happened yesterday. Okay? And this was even before my broadcast. Somebody who happened to be a member of a terrorist group called JIBWIS, as well as, the Izala movement is a terrorist group in Nigeria. But guess what? Their members and their loyal members, they are members of the Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Armed Forces, Nigeria Police, Nigeria Political Class, National Assembly, state government houses all over the place. These are their members. There is a story on them of, we call it the conflicts for jihad, using terrorism, act of terrorism and violence for political advantage, for political power. But they are their leaders. You know what I mean? They are the leaders that, and these are the vessels that the criminal political class work with to push a narrative. Because it is not starting now, it's always been there. The narrative of hatred, the narrative of, violence against any certain or targeted tribe or ethnic nationality in Nigeria. Arewa said that they are hungry, they are starving. Thiefnubu has abandoned them and they are going to protest. And a supposed JIBWIS Cleric, a terrorist, they will call them respective Sheikh, respective Islamic Sheikh. He faced this audience and he told them, I am warning you, nobody must participate in this nyamiri's protest. It is the nyamiris that are organizing protest against Thiefnubu. No Muslim, nobody in the north must participate. That is what Jingir is saying. Wetin concern Igbos? What is theirs in this? Here is a cleric from northern Nigeria telling his listeners not to participate in the Igbo protests because the protest you are hearing about is being organized by Igbos. And it is not true. There are many of them who said things, oh, we got this one on camera.
Kai, bakano ina kai ina zanga-zanga. Ka taimaki Inyamuri zanga-zanga. Nan Filato ina kai ina taya Inyamuri zanga-zanga. Nan Sokoto ina kai ina taya Inyamuri zanga-zanga. Dan Adamawa ina kai ina taya Inyamuri zanga-zanga. Zanga-zanga wallahi tayar da zanga-zanga tayar da fitina ne. Kai yana ce, to a ba mu hujja. Waya ba su hujjar da ta ce ba zanga-zanga. To annabi Muhammadu sallallahu alaihi wasallama ya faɗa a hadisinsa ya ce alfitnatu na'imatun, fitina tana bacci. Ya ce la'anallahu, Allah ya tsine wa man aiqazaha, wanda ya tada fitina. Kai,
sorry if you don't understand everything he said, but I can sort of roughly interpret that for you. He is telling them there that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught them what to do when things are hard. Do not participate in any Nyamiri's protest. Nyamiri is the slur word used on Igbos during the Biafran War, the Nigerian genocidal war. The Igbos have always been the target of their political, religious supremacy. From the first record, from the most recent record in history of the program against the Igbo, it was, about 80 years ago. And that was 1944. And from that moment on, it became their easy targets. All it would take is just for a cleric or a couple of clerics to go out there and say, we blame the Igbos, they are responsible for it. And boom, wherever they see them. Then when the war broke out, the real genocide carried out was not just the 5 million people starved to death or so. They were the people who were running away from northern Nigeria, from the incited Islamic mob that blamed them for everything that happened between the political class. The political class and the rest of them were battling themselves. But guess who, as they say, when two elephants fight, the grass suffer. That is where they killed uncounted numbers of Igbos, women, children, elderly, who were trying to escape the program every step of the way. And they said for those who sort of rescued or came to this rescue of some of those escaping that mob action, the program, it was mostly like, please give me water, please, water. And Nyamiri means water in the northern part of Nigeria. So which simply means if they don't speak their language, they believe that it's a common one. Please give us water, give me water. How do you now then, I mean, it's used regularly in northern Nigeria. It's a slur word. Okay? And in fact, it is actually one kind of a glorifying word for them that reminds them of the slaughtering of Igbos in northern Nigeria. I'm not making this up. You need to read up. So you see this hatred that you are witnessing in Nigeria today. among all tribes, all ethnic and religious, all of that stuff, right? They've always been politically sponsored. And the remnants of that is once the political class, the religious class, the elite, once they get what they want, the people are now left to deal with the hate that they have created, they have nurtured through their utterances. And there are people who actually take these guys so serious, they will kill for them. And they are called leaders, Islamic leaders. There are many in northern Nigeria. But shockingly, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi is in support of people standing up and asking for a better government. He is not against a protest. But we have been told Thiefnubu had mobilized more than 500 million naira, no joke, for the purpose of, for two purposes. The first one is to please extend the narrative that the protest is being sponsored by some people who hate Nigeria. And this should be done by pointing the fingers at the Igbos. Okay? This is in northern Nigeria. Point it at them repeatedly. Okay? To make sure that even if things have to go down, the people will always remember and say, oh, it was organized by the Igbos. You see, all of these things are deliberate. It is not pandering to the Igbos. If you are an Igbo person and you don't even understand this, right? I don't want to feel sorry for you. But you kind of be, you are one of those who call the, those who are like selective, self-destructive. You are pretending that maybe it's not what Maiyegun is saying. Or maybe it's not that bad. Or maybe Maiyegun just wants you to be hungry. No, I don't want you to be. I want you to understand the world you are living in. Same goes to every one of us, including myself. This is the world we live in. These old divisions, this old hatred, this old rhetorics you are seeing, they are not coming from the place that anybody can really explain what is the source. The effort to continue to make you inherit the hatred and pass it on in the name of we are trying to preserve our identity. You have no identity in that contraption. You don't. The contraption doesn't want you to have identity. You are a Nigerian, that's it. But when it is politically convenient and when they want to kind of spill blood, they will begin to now tell you, you are Yoruba, you are Igbo, you are Hausa. Remember the history. You know they hate you. Remember what we did to them in 1944. We can do it again if they mess up. You were not there in 1944. You were not there in 1967. But you have inherited the hatred so much because people like that continue to remind you why you have to stay hateful. But look at them up there. Look at all of them up there. Do you see them hate themselves that much? No. So this is not to make you feel good and say, oh, thank you, Maiyegun. Don't thank me. This is the world we live in. This is the dangerous people. These are the dangerous people who have created their own version of a country called Nigeria, and you have to exist in it. You can't question it. Stay hateful. Stay murderous. I mean, don't worry. If you kill anybody that we tell you to kill, it's justified. Don't worry. You are defending your right. You are defending your heritage. When you are not, here is another version that you will tell you how much this hatred just towards people calling protest, waiting concern the Igbo there. So if you are hearing Igbo this, Igbo that in their conversation, it is deliberate. That's the point I'm trying to make. It is deliberate. And my effort is to see that as many as possible see my video and stop helping to engage this kind of rhetorics or reacting to them as they want you to. They want you to be hateful. Yeah. The country is not working. It's upside down. Inflation today has jumped up again. I told you, whatever you are going through in Nigeria right now, it is just like the preamble. You haven't even started. They haven't started. So are you going to stay and endure that? Or are you going to stand up and face them without you shouting, why are the Igbos not saying they are not going to join us? Because the intention is to continue to mention the Igbos, derail it, and keep your hatred alive. Should you keep your hatred alive under these current circumstances? But people like this who want you to. Listen to this.
Seeing how things, you see the same way Nnamdi Kanu was controlling the NSAS. That's how he will now be controlling it from wherever he is. They will tell him at that point it will be too late. That is how the fascist mindset thinks. You would remember that immediately after the January coup, the senators met together at Div Charina's house. Div Charina was the most senior MP from the north, NPC. And they said that they were going to make him prime minister, new prime minister, acting prime minister. And so they wanted to go and meet the other, their coalition partners, the NCNC coalition partners. And they were all assembled at Mbadiwe's house. Ozumba, all of them are in Nikoyi, in that area. And Zeke called from abroad, where he was hiding, and he told them that they should not let Div Charina hold that, get that post. That what for Rizzo should not approve Div Charina to become prime minister. That because they have something else they were doing. And then he now started to reach out to Iransi, and then he started to socially engineer the so-called revolution that they said was supposed to bring Awolowo to power. And before you knew it, Iransi has become president. And before you knew it, he has started unification decree, consolidation of Nigeria, so that the master race will now be the new recolonizers. This is food for thought. Don't join them in any protest. I use the mic.
All right.
Nuisance, Lele.
Do you see narratives like that? I can't hear things like that and just ignore and say, oh, don't ignore them. Ignore them. When things are now being taken to the real world, people are being killed in real world. Businesses are being destroyed in real world because of narratives like that. Did you see that perfect lie that he just dropped there? That's history. Don't participate in any protest. I just played to you the northern version, Abi. Now, I'm still going back to that story of 500 million naira. Don't worry, I'll tell you about that too. I just told you the version of London, Nigeria, Abi. The Ronukus of the Ronu Nazis, the Ronukus of the West, Yoruba land, right? Their own as well about this protest is that it is the Nnamdi Azikiwe in his grave that will be controlling it. And if Nnamdi Azikiwe is not going to control it from his grave, if it be Nnamdi Kanu, wherever he is, that is the obsession. Now, he said, let me tell you a story. During the coup, they told Nnamdi Azikiwe to travel abroad. We have read the history of why we struck here, right? But people like him and the Akintola descendants, the children of perdition, Omoalile Yorubas, right? Who have always, for everything they stand for, is always against Yoruba land. Everything. They were those who sold Awolowo. They were those who frustrated Awolowo's political advancement. They were those who orchestrated the death of Awolowo. But guess what? They were now those who are now wearing the cap of Awolowo. But when you look at everything they are doing, it's completely anti-Yoruba. Education, anti-Yoruba. Infrastructure, anti-Yoruba. People development, anti-Yoruba. What else? Defending the interest of the Yoruba when the Fulanis were coming to kidnap and kill us, right? They ignored the Fulanis. They went after the Igbos. It's always the same card. Repeat it again and again and it will be the truth. We are fighting for our land. We cannot let them control our land. They say they are super race. They are master race. They are not master race. Nobody called themselves master race over anybody. This whole hatred is manufactured and created by this descendant of partition in Yoruba land. Yorubas are suffering. The most videos we have been seeing, they are Yorubas. Being power, being power, we can no longer eat well. The Olori Buruku Abobakus would rather want those people to die in silence. Shut up your mouth, Jare. The whole country is facing it. Stop shouting. Stop letting people see that you are the one crying. Being power, they don't care about them. And they said they will give you food. We are going to share food very soon. They don't care about Yoruba land. They don't care about anything Yoruba. What they care most about is the fact that they have political power. That's all they care about. And any threat to that political power, they will bleed, they will do anything. Yoruba land is retrogressing. They know it. When they roll out the numbers of or let me say the statistic for the unemployed in Nigeria, man, people who invested so much money on their children education inside Nigeria. Today, the children are now graduates, jobless. They are still living with them, collecting pocket money, feeding money, all wallowing in that same 42% food inflation country created by these rogues. They would rather give you money, share money, go and buy food. That is their own economic policies. Job creation is when they created something to extort the people so they can put agberos together that will begin to ask you for money in suits and say, they don't care about anything. What they care about is that political power. It is similar to the Alimajiri mentality, Alimajiri mentality of northern Nigeria. As long as we have the political power, alhamdulillah, let's just pray to God to convince them so that they can do the right thing for us. Anything that will take power away from us, we no go agree. They will lie, they will slander, they will defame, they will blackmail, they will gaslight, they will do everything, and they will blame you for it. It's unfortunate, right? So I am pointing all this out, not just for you Igbos to feel good. I'm pointing this out for for those who are non-Igbos to see how easy they can easily be played. And even if you take the Igbos out, let's even take the Igbos out now. A lot of you are also being played against yourselves, tribal versus tribal. In northern Nigeria, where it is now alleged that Thiefnubu has actually mobilized over 500 million naira for the Sheikh, the cleric that is ready to push this agenda to make sure that there is nothing called protest in northern Nigeria. Okay? They will be given 16 million naira. And this 16 million naira has been given to those who have collected them. And you may not know much. Those of you probably are not following them, what is going on in northern Nigeria. These young people are already calling them out. You know the wahala now. Those clerics who collected money, who are now using style to discourage the people from coming out or something, right? Most of them are now changing their mouth that, hey, we know everybody is angry, but there's something you need to know. Even if you are angry, even if you disagree with us, your sheikhs, it is not godly for you to abuse us the way you are abusing us. I mean, if you cannot abuse your fathers, as we all know in Islam, you cannot abuse your father or disobey your father. You cannot also disobey your teacher. This is their message, not me saying, they are saying it now that everybody that is calling them out for collecting money. Oh, we didn't collect money. Oh, Allah is our witness. We did not collect money from Thiefnubu. We just thought that protest is haram in Islam. And we don't want anybody to follow people who are trying to use you. What do you mean by people want to use them? It's un-Islamic. Because protests can now lead to violence. You see hypocrisy too? People where they protest Palestine, Israel war. I bet it like me. Do you know how many times they have staged different protests in northern Nigeria for what is happening in Islamic countries? Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times such protests have turned to violence? A Denmark cartoonist drew the cartoon of Prophet Muhammad in a very insulting way. Denmark, do you know how many people they killed in Nigeria because of that? She I tell you, over 400 people were killed. And these were the infidels. Because of a cartoon. They were protesting. Yeah. But when it comes to their welfare, government responsibility, if a man will begin to tell you it is a ram to protest against your leaders. So Wala is going on in that part as we speak. And the Wala is also coming from the house, it's going into the household of, look at this one. This is the sheikh that I showed you earlier. 74-year-old man. A career criminal himself. Succeeding or surviving. You see, as we talk about your criminal pastors, your pastorpreneurs, we also have all these jihadist clerics from northern Nigeria. They are oluri burukus like some of your pastors too. You get what I mean? The aguntons, the shippies that they are controlling, they pray they never get to know better. And that is why people like that man, people like him is so important. He is so important because he can read Arabic. Like that. That makes him special. Then he can indoctrinate people. Tell them what Allah asked them to do by killing infidels. A shame. But those are the kind. So you have them in northern Nigeria. They are called sheikh or imam or this or that, right? In southern part, they are called pastors. But anyway, inside the elrufi's household, it could be like say Omatseye, which is Sam Omatseye, Abi spelled as Omatseye. Anyway, Omatseye, I think I should even get his image on, okay? But give me a sec. I want to put up something like father, like fraud. That is what Omatseye wrote. It isn't a report, so to say, okay? It is practically a column written by Sam Omas. I'm trying to look for the link so I can read some of it out to us. It's just an opinion, right? And it was because elrufi's son said that Thiefnubu is not too big to be voted out. And Thiefnubu will be voted out in 2027 because they have been attacking his father. They've been attacking his father for no reason. And therefore, Thiefnubu must go. So Sam Omatseye now put pen to paper. I've been a keyboard to the screen. So make a read in part. He said, a tweet went viral last week. Let's see if I can even get that one. You see what I'm reading. It's on my screen. A tweet went viral last week from the fingers of a lawmaker and son of former Kaduna governor, Bello Rufai. I did not see it until quite a few people forwarded it to me. A former minister also sent it to me with a comment, this little prick needs to be put in his place. What did Bello, a member of House of Representatives, write? Thanks, I left the office early to see him off at the airport. I just told him a lot of you do love him and I've been supportive. I shared some tweets to him. We also laughed at a shameless idiot, Sam, the houseboy at 70, of the toilet paper called The Nation. Of course, he accompanied the tweet with a picture of the back of his father, the former governor who bleeds rather than talk. So Sam continued. He said, so that is the quality of a lawmaker in today's democracy of the 21st century. A father is accused of stealing over 400 billion naira. The son goes to the toilet to defend him. Is that the sort of family that should spill into the public square? So, if father is an accused thief, son is a liar. What a combo of a family. Who is shameless, if not a thief or a liar? The nation is toilet paper, but it was not so when it defended him in the past, when he made headlines against his enemies. It is because he has a toilet imagination that Bello's father can be accused of stealing, and he does not hide himself in the shadows. He calls me 70. Where is his facts? His father returned to Atiku, the man he betrayed for OBJ. He has returned to his own vomit. So it is a case of a traitor cohabiting with a defector. What a marriage. And they say they love this country. Bello himself has been pampered by his father. He never had any real job in this country before he became lawmaker, except a stint at a Chinese firm his father helped him get. He schooled outside this country. I recall challenging his father at Sheraton some time ago in front of my editor colleagues when he wanted to advertise his integrity. He said his salary was small. I asked him how he funded his children, including Bello, from a government salary that could not pay more than a month's rent abroad. He could not answer me then. Now I know why, and why his son must defend his father. Ram Omatseye. Rumble in the house of the traitors. You see, we call the Nigerian criminals, we call them criminals. Do you actually know that these people are traitors? They betray the trust of the people, loot the treasury, then try to gag the people from reacting. They jail decent views, everyone who disagrees with them. They get them killed or jailed. Now, they want to get away with all crimes because they have been getting away with all crimes. These are not just criminals. These are traitors. You treat them that way. From the north to the east. Let's say from the north to the west. From the east to the south. Middle belt to the creek of Niger Delta. They are criminals and they are traitors. Put it that way. So yeah, we're going to be reading all this. We're going to be seeing all this, and they're going to be sounding more like a theatrical. Like, what are you going to do? And then what are you going to do? The most you can do is to go after them. You go after them as they have come after you. They are united against you. Don't be divided against them. Your protest will take place. But is it going to be effective enough to actually effect any change that can make a little bit of difference in your lives? The ball is in your court. You can put it that way. It's in your court. But how do you feel out there? Generally, our guy, no more peaceful protests. Ask this for us.
Baba, you know if you just sleep on your own one day, wake up, see say, the masses of this country, they suffer. For the example, are they for the area where they produce Gary now? If you see Gary, I buy 300. Gary, I buy 300. See Gary. See Gary. Is they like dog fowl egg?
This is about when I see so now 300 naira.
This is about 300.
300 naira. Tinubu, where did they do so?
300 about.
You know, just sleep, just wake up.
On your own. On your own. Talk through. How many?
300 naira for this boy, eba. See ya.
How many way you fit chop? Baby, for you.
I don't understand. Person go carry 40,000 naira enter market. You don't go fit buy food.
Now where they produce about 300 about this so. Can't talk of if you go VI.
I don't understand.
All those baby men area
I don't understand.
where you they stay. I think say the Gary go be for 300.
300 for this way, eba. You say, see ya yourself.
300. You see how the person do am. Just because of say Gary too cost, me do am.
One pence of Gary now 4,000 naira now.
See,
4,000 naira for one pence.
You don't pour water full.
Baba, what they do for that seat?
You don't pour water full. You don't pour water full and see how it be.
You don't see me suffer.
About 300.
You know this we dey suffer.
You don't try.
You do for us. You just dey there, sit down, doing nothing. You come back say we don't get president.
You don't try. We where they happy say if you enter, you go change things.
Hey, I like
come worse town.
Man, I hear me. Igbo people. Man, I go relax. You know, don't talk say I won't join this protest. We like this, we dey ready. Especially me. Like this, I dey ready. No be say na whiny. I dey ready. Now say me finish. I don't need finish. Like this man no get joy. I dey ready. This protest we go run now.
You don't try. You.
This month, July 29, we go run this protest.
You don't try.
This country, you must do well. You must do well.
The protest. You don't try at all.
This government go end up. This your government. We go end up. This your bad character. We go end up. In Abikanu, you not go free. Yaya Bello, you not go arrest him.
When I go bring that man back. In
Abikanu, you not go give that. You not go free. Yaya Bello, you not go carry and go lock up. And you mind you, EFCC chairman. Shebi you thought say if they not detain Yaya Bello, I be asked to talk. Say you go resign. Now Yaya Bello they won't finish. You don't resign. All of na hypocrite. All of na. Now go. Well, make I don't even. But what you mean? Say this protest we go run am.
We go run am.
You go run am. Anyhow. Peaceful protest no dey work. Anyhow we go run am. We go run am. No fear.
When I use the man.
Make them fear. Now go fear.
Person wey thief una no arrest am.
Person wey thief.
Person wey dey innocent now una go arrest.
80 billion naira. 80.2 billion naira for that matter.
You no arrest am.
Una no arrest am. Leave where they want feeling. EFCC chairman, you thought say if they no detain am, you go resign. You don't resign. Yaya Bello don't want feeling. You know they want us. Which type of come with this one? You don't get joy like this, oh.
We don't get joy. We don't get joy. It's just
when I see the Eba.
300
naira. Still. 300 naira for that matter.
Eba.
How many this kind of me when me a future we go benefit me? Me don't need finish. Joy no dey. Won't be ayo kosejo.
Won't be ayo.
Baba.
So, that is one of the reactions I can bring to your screen. And whether they are just making noise, whether they are serious, we are counting the days. Abi? Now just about 15, 16 days to go. Abi now 17 days, 17 days. So they will start arresting people. I believe they will start kidnapping people like they are doing in Kenya. El-Rufai is currently facing what is believed to be the, I don't know, I think it should be the political dilemma of his life. And this is former friends. They are actually out to hand him, but he himself feels like he's a cat with 9 lives. And we shall see. During their charade elections, he went to, what do you call it? He was talking to his fellow sort of a mumus, Muslim sympathizers, mumus. He was there and he told a lie to make it sweeter. He lied against the entire Igbo people using the Peter Obi as a contact on something that never happened. I have a combination of that. I just want to put it now because all the people that El-Rufai did this for, they are now the people his own son is calling, foolish old men or stupid old men. The people that they now feel like they are not too big to be removed from power. El-Rufai did all this to further steer. He says their religious class are steering the rhetoric of hatred. The political class that is funding it, the political class are doing their part too. Now, all the people that El-Rufai did this for, they are those who are now gunning for him and they are looking for your sympathy. If you have any though, Obi and El-Rufai.
Our elders. In 2013, I went to Anambra State as an official of the APC to witness the by-election for governorship. Your next guest, Peter Obi, was governor. He got me arrested and detained for 48 hours in my hotel room. Now I'm the governor of Kaduna State. And he is coming to Kaduna. In addition to the police and the SSS, I have one mechanized division Nigerian army here. If I need to arrest and detain anyone. but we are northerners. We are civilized. We don't do things like that.
When I was coming in here, when I came here now, somebody told me, he said, Peter, your brother, my brother, the governor of Kaduna State, said that he came to my state and I detained him. Let me tell you, it's good when you answer, when these things happen, you clarify them. Number one, in my 8 years of being governor, only in the first 3 months did I have a commissioner that is not from the north. I want you to, only in my first 3 months did I have a commissioner that is not from the north. Commissioner of police. Only 3 months. And that's because I met the person. At the time the governor said this, it was during the election. The police commissioner that was there then was from Adamawa. It says, what is his name again? Gwari, CP Gwari from Adamawa. The AIG that supervised the election was Nasarawa. CP Nasarawa from the north. The DIG that came for that election was from Kano. Tell me, my powers, I was in Abuja. Government was PDP and NPC. Tell me how Abuja person will issue order for somebody to be detained. Even me was detained in my local government. And I was working for. But however, all of us I committed is that when they asked me, I said, that's how they treat everybody, that I wouldn't be in Kaduna on day of election. That was the only thing. And it took it up. There's no way. I cannot do that. Co-chairman, I never asked anybody to carry ID. As governor of Anambra State, I have the best ADC in Nigeria, the best policeman. My ADC, Mohammed, is from Kano. He's the best policeman till today that I've ever met. He's from Kano. Who will I give the order? Will governor go and give order on himself? So how will I tell Mohammed, who lives in my house every day and close to his family, I get up and say, Mohammed, I want to deal with your people. And he will say that. Call my ADC today, I'll give you his phone number. He's the best policeman, he's still a policeman, he's CSP now. And he will tell you. So when people there, Peter B is black. 2019, I was vice president. No, I was good man. Now I want to be president. I become bad man. I did not do anything wrong. I want to change Nigeria.
You get that? So the whole story was that it was during the time that they were doing their APC madness. You know, when they were shouting change, Jonathan, everything Jonathan was evil then. So these guys, Nebuchadnezzar, Jonathan at this. You know, elrufai left Kaduna on the day of election. They were holding election in Anambra. Okay, and they said, you know them, they said no movement. elrufai moved from Kaduna into an hotel. He is not an election observer. He is not a member of INEC or anything at all, right? But was just there. Like, I'm elrufai, I can be anywhere I want. So they said no movement. Okay. And elrufai insisted that he was going to go around and monitor election. You are not. Then they stopped him in his own hotel. And the next thing, elrufai quickly, boom. Peter Obi ordered his arrest and deported him back to Kaduna. And fortunately for elrufai, unfortunately for Obi, when the media approached him at his own local government and said, We heard the news now that the elrufai has been, Kaduna Littlefinger has been arrested. It wasn't governor, it wasn't anything. No, he has been detained, not arrested. He has been detained in his hotel, not letting him move out of the hotel. And Nobi said, what is he doing in Anambra State on the day of election? They just quoted that. Peter Obi arrested, and they have been repeating it. There are many people in northern Nigeria that believe that story. You cannot tell them anything else. Nothing. They have heard these truths years again and again. Oh, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't suit the narrative. Okorocha said he was going to give ID cards to northerners in Imo State when he was governor. It became a thing. When their 2023 election started, they removed Okorocha's name. They put Peter Obi. They said Peter Obi was the one deporting, and he also said he was going to give ID card to anybody, all the northerners in Anambra. A lot of stuff like that. But the person who can't say or do all of that is now running away from the people he did that with. He is now a persona non grata. He is now fighting dirty enough that they are now kind of putting his name where it truly belongs. They said these northern guys, they are plotting to overthrow Thiefnubu or escalate the terrorism in Nigeria. And his name is being mentioned as we speak. So he's fighting the battle of his life. They did all of this slandering. They did all of this ethnic baiting, tribal divisive politics, right? They did all of that. Now he is on the run himself, worried to death. Some will say Nakama, for those who believe in Kama, right? I just believe it is the consequences of what being selfish can do to you. And there is no sympathy here for him. I want to see more. I promise you, I want to see more. Right? So anyway, to every one of you that is with us this afternoon, I want to quickly implore you to take a moment now, okay? And then like this broadcast, all right? Like, take a moment, leave the comment section, go under the video and like it. Like it and collect your glory. I will give you glory. Yeah, you collect want this bountiful glory like this. Oh yeah, kia. 10 people.
Ẹ ṣe data sórí nọ́mbà tí mo pin sójú screen yẹn. Kẹ́ ẹ sì gba ògo yín lójú ẹsẹ̀ yẹn 10. Ẹ ṣe data fún mi kẹ́ ẹ gba ògo. Ẹ ṣe data fún mi kẹ́ ẹ gba ògo yín lójú ẹsẹ̀. Nísinsìnyí lẹ gba ògo yín. Tẹ́ bá ṣe data tí data bá ti wọlé, ẹ ó sì gba ògo yín lójú ẹsẹ̀.
Kẹsẹ̀ ni. Oh yeah, claim it. I'm not even going to give it to 10. I'm giving it to 100 of you. So let's see the first 100 people. We are like over 600 on YouTube, I think. And about 100 of us are on Facebook, okay? So let's see the first 100 people that will collect their ogo. Oh yeah, collect your ogo. Glory. I just wanted to go and pay your offering, like the broadcast, okay? Now let's leave Nigeria for a moment, okay? Let's go to Kenya. The president of Kenya, William Ruto, has now publicly accused Ford Foundation as the brain behind the protest in his country. You know, this is what supposed power ministry people, this is how they think. They blame everybody, they blame everything but themselves for their own misfortune. The man that was grandstanding a few weeks ago is back to that level of fantasizing himself. Enough that it kind of just will continue to call out those he suspected as his enemies. The people that want Kenya to fall. Not because you promised Kenyans that they will never be subjected to any slavish tax system. Then you made a 180-degree U-turn. Boom. You went back on to come and tax them and you blame them for resisting you. I didn't even know. They said initially Ruto blamed the opposition. Of course, that's who they first blamed. Then after blaming the opposition, Ruto went on to go and blame Illuminati. I didn't see that coming, honestly. I checked all the line. They said they blamed the Illuminati. They blamed unknown forces. Ruto's government is now blaming the NGOs in Kenya for the escalated crime. They've also come together, by the way, and they said the bodies found, you see those bodies found in sacks in a dump site, yeah? They have said that it is a young man who is a serial killer that killed them and used the same sack. They said he's been doing it since 2022. And they have displayed all of the evidence they have collected from him. Okay? They said he killed 42 women. He's a serial killer. That the bodies found in the swampy dumpster, said the bodies were not the bodies of protesters. And the way they are putting it together, people don't believe them. It looks so crazy, right? You know what happened? Yesterday, for no reason, there was a young guy who has been doing the evacuation. You know, initially they found the 6 bodies. Then they found another 5 bodies. But somehow, the media and the government said, no, it's only 9 bodies, not 11. The young man that was exhuming and then excavating all these bodies from this swampy dump sites in Wakire or so, I can't remember the name, sorry. The young man that was pulling them out said he pulled 15 bodies. The media is reporting 9. There are misinformation going on everywhere too. There is actually a video of the young man who said that I pulled 15 bodies. The serial killer is said to have killed 42 women. And like I said, the people don't think this is true. But here is the statement of the acting police IG. Just briefly.
At Kwale, we wish to inform the members of the public that we have made good progress. Today, early this morning, at around 1, we arrested the prime suspect named Collins Jumaisi Harucha. Yesterday we did recover 1 more body, bringing the total to 9 bodies recovered so far. The post-mortem examinations are happening today. We call upon any member of public with information that may aid the police in identifying the bodies or those who have cases of their missing persons to report to the DCI headquarters or the nearest police station. With respect to the very Kenyans who have lost their loved ones through this tragedy, we wish to give our reassurance that we are working tirelessly to conclude these investigations. We thank the members of the public who continue to assist us in the search process and continue to appeal to the public to remain calm and give officers space to handling the scene. At Kwale, we wish to inform.
That is the young man, Collins, arrested, has been responsible for 9 bodies that they officially announced, 9 bodies. And what they got from him as evidence are this.
Ndugu, wait.
They found the gloves, they found the duct tapes, they found the machete and all of that. But surprisingly, they burned down his house. Yeah, the authority burned down the guy's house. After taking the evidence, I mean, they burned down the crime scene. Then you see that swamp, that dumpster where they found the bodies has been besieged with thousands of people who surrounded it. And yesterday, the police shot, not just yesterday, even 2 days ago, they were shooting at them to disperse them, shooting tear gas at them. Then overnight, the entire dumpster got burnt, like what you can call a coordinated burning, right? And everybody who got there this morning just were seeing the smoke. The dumpsters just received a fresh fire sort of tour. And that is why a lot of them are believing that that is sorry, I just see one comment now. If you are still watching me, what's your name? New Era Jordan, sorry. All right, thank you very much, Harry. God bless you. So now going forward, Ruto is clinging on to anything and is blaming just everything and everyone but himself. So that same yesterday, Ruto was speaking to a group of, supporters, I would say. And this was him yesterday. He blamed the Ford Foundation for sponsoring the protest in Kenya and for the killings of the people, an NGO.
We have no use for anarchy and violence and destruction of property and loss of life. Wale ambao wana sponsor hiyo violence, sisi tunawajua. And I want to call out those who are behind the anarchy in Kenya, those who are behind the sponsoring the chaos in the Republic of Kenya. Shame on them, because they are sponsoring violence against our democratic nation. Mimi nataka niulize watu wa Ford Foundation, watuambie hiyo pesa wanatoa ifanye fujo ndio wapate faida gani? We are going to call them out and we are going to tell them, if they are not interested in democracy in Kenya, if they are going to sponsor violence, if they are going to sponsor anarchy, we are going to call them out and we are going to tell them they either style up or they leave. Tunaelewana jameni ama tuelewani? Munataka watu watununulie vijana ati wafanye fujo katika Kenya? Vijana sio wa kufanya fujo. Vijana ni wa kufanya kazi. Na hiyo ndio mpango tuko naye ya kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana. Wakati tunapanga ajira ya hawa vijana kwa affordable housing, tunapanga ajira ya hawa vijana kwa hii markets, tunapanga ajira ya hawa vijana kwa digital jobs, tunapanga ajira ya hawa vijana kwa mambo ya export of labor, tunapanga ajira ya hawa vijana kwa mambo ya manufacturing na mambo ya value addition na mambo ya industrialization. Kuna watu hawataki tupange vijana wafanye kazi, wanataka kupanga vijana wafanye fujo. We
Amen. I don't understand what you talk about. I pretty much believe that he's talking about the government is doing everything to build infrastructure. The government is doing everything to do this. We are doing this, it's not really hard to tell, though, right? At least it mixed them up. But there is more trouble for Ruto than this issue of this finance bill and all that. They want him to go. They said a lot happened in Kenya when they were not paying attention. Kenya forced GMO. The Kenyan government forced GMO on their farmer in Kenya when it is meant to be illegal in Kenya. But they bribed their way. Mosantis, Abina Monatis, that one that is selling the GMO seed. So there is more trouble for Ruto. Listen to this, their people's parliament, their own people's assembly, discussing important issues that must be seriously ironed out and sorted. before any progress can set to be made in Kenya. So Ruto would have to deal with this too. Listen to this conversation, please.
Small, they're not going to sway an entire election. Let's not look at them. But those things could sway a whole election. No one has ever looked keenly or talked about Smartmatic. And how
there's something I miss out. Kenyans were discussing how the GMO merchants, IMF and the rest of them, infiltrated their election in Kenya. That people should pay attention. That some of the things that Ruto told them he would never do are most of the things he's doing. Killing them slowly. How did they win elections? Who and who are those behind them, and who are those running the country now? Let's listen.
Small, they're not going to sway an entire election. Let's not look at them. But those things could sway a whole election. No one has ever looked keenly or talked about Smartmatic and how Kenyan data is diverted and changed. Or a logarithm is set to change or sway the data. That is what happens on Kenyan election. This is not local. This is not something done locally. It is an international manipulation of a Kenyan election. Someone needs to write a document about how we've lost our sovereignty. That's why when our president was sworn into office, he has done everything that's a foreign policy. It's not a Kenyan policy. In the Kibaki administration, we had public participation about GMO. Documents sit in parliament. But what did Ruto do? Immediately he came in, he lifted the ban on GMO. No public participation, nothing discussed in parliament, and GMO was allowed in Kenya. Every single loan that is coming to Kenya right now through IMF and World Bank has a social economic agenda attached to it. We give you this loan, you pass this bill, you pass this bill. That's why right now the agriculture bill has been passed. That's why right now it's a criminal activity to carry out agricultural activities unless you have a diploma in agriculture. Otherwise, you face a jail term or a bail. If anyone is willing, lawyers listening to this, please audit every single bill that has been passed in the Kenyan parliament. It's a foreign agenda. It's not a Kenyan agenda. Social economic structures, like on the 24th of July, there is a case, there are Kenyans agriculturists who have come together who are suing because it's now criminal to share seeds in Kenya. These are legislations that have gone through the parliament. That's why I would say this is the worst government I've ever seen as a Kenyan, because no one cares about the bills they have passed in that parliament. Why is our president jumping as high as the foreign masters want him to jump? Because they played a big role in his presidency. He has no stance to fight for the Kenyan people. That's why he was the best candidate for them. And if anyone feels like my sentiments are not true, tell me one single thing he has done that is good for the Kenyan people. Even this finance bill is all a social economic structure attached to IMF funding. When you study all these things that have happened in this country, you realize the foreign hand in the Kenyan democracy, it is so huge. And I will shock you when I tell you, even on the opposition side, high level, they always know where the presidency is going. I will shock you to tell you, even Raila knew, let me do this thing to maintain my backyard, to maintain the control of half of the country. He has a big following. To control Azimio, to have a big number members of parliament in parliament. But he knew he's not going to ascend to presidency because he's sort of lost the willingness to keep fighting because it's a big monster to fight. When the election is done, he'll quickly be meeting the ambassadors. He'll quickly be meeting the EU commissioners because the players that have to manipulate both sides. That's why even now, his AU seat is really attached to these foreign bodies. They just want to balance an equilibrium in Kenya because we are the products in the market. We are the slaves. They're squeezing every little life out of us as they manipulate a sitting government and manipulate an opposition. And as we sit here, discussions are underway of building a government of sort of national unity. I don't know if they're going to call it coalition. And they think that is going to quell the cry of Kenyans right now. They just want a working situation to continue pushing their social economic agendas, which are not Kenyan, which are not for the good of any Kenyan. And you will see they are going to have cabinet positions next week or next week, and you will see what these people are doing. They are working together. If they were not working together, none of these players is coming out clearly and listening to what Kenyans are saying. Because what Kenyans are saying, this government is not fighting for us. Even on the smallest level, this government is not fighting for Kenyans. For the people that can study and do this, if you study the Venezuelan hand in the Kenyan government, it was huge. The foreigners played a big role in diverting the will of the people. And I will tell you again and again, what you see today is not what Kenyans voted. Thank you, Eric, for your time.
You heard all of that. And I bet a lot of you can relate. Yes. That is what the foreign interest does. Okay? They have all their hands over your elections and all of that, so that whenever there is a rigging in any part of Africa, and the rigging is done by the group of rogues that will protect their interests, right? They will quickly give them validation. And they will quickly roll out money for them as well to make them, they'll say, okay, go and do something and make your people look like you want to do something. And then they coil to them when they begin to economically manipulate the people of their countries. And that's some great insights from a Kenyan's perspective. So a lot of you can relate. A lot of us can relate. You have them, UK ambassador, American ambassador, this one ambassador, that one ambassador, here and there. They are hobnobbing with criminals. They are hobnobbing with election riggers, treasury looters. And they as well, as long as they are, they are stolen loot, right? Their loot are protected, well protected in these countries, right? They can roll out the red carpet for them and collect these slavish policies from these guys. Because your people they are the product they are trading on. Isn't that unfortunate? Tomorrow is the D-Day in Kenya. Ruto must go. Or there will be civil war. You don't know that yet, Abi? People are angling for civil war in Kenya as we speak. You don't read. That's why government is doing everything to see if they can, anything that is going to, to increase the pressure. They are doing everything to try to douse it. Within their ranks, right? There are many of them that are already contemplating of leaving the armed forces. And right now, it's either Ruto leaves or they leave. It's getting to that stage. So somewhere in that same Kenya this morning. it is still pretty much. Somebody said, are the Kenyans still protesting? Oh, more, they never stop protesting. They just go and walk. They will go and walk for, those who works, they will go and work for like 6 days. The 7th day, which is every Tuesday, they will all be out. No work, no nothing all over the country. A big move and showdown. So the government houses, they are already sending messages to the governors of all the states within Kenya. We are coming for you too. Everybody would have to go, leave. So meanwhile, there is this news from Ile-Ife. I don't even know if I should probably clap or shake my head, okay? Ooni of Ife sent his emissary to the market in Ile-Ife and told them that all the pepper sellers, they cannot sell their pepper more than 200 naira. I don't even know how that's going to work. That's why I said I don't know if I should clap or shake my head. It is all, according to them, to reduce the hardship on the people. So traders need to cut down costs in Ile-Ife.
Ní orúkọ kábíyèsí ọba Adéyẹyẹ nìtàn Ògúnwùsì Ọ̀jájá ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì àti gbogbo àwọn ìjòyè mẹ́rìndínlógún tó ń bá Olúfẹ̀ gbìmọ̀ràn ni wọ́n ní kí àwọn bàbá lọ́jà àti ìyá lọ́jà kí wọ́n lọ jẹ́ iṣẹ́ ìfún gbogbo ọjà ní ilẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ àti ibi tí Ifẹ̀ dé dúró wípé láti òní lọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìpàdé tí ibi tá a ti kúrò nísìn nínú pálásì wọ́n ní àwọn ò fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ kan bóyá ẹgbẹ́ onírẹ̀sì ẹgbẹ́ aláta elépo títí débi tó ń kó lè kéré mọ́ pé àwọn fọwọ́ fagilé láti òní lọ. Wọ́n ní ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá tún wá tún gbéra tó bá wá sọ pé òun gbé ẹgbẹ́ kan dìde pé ara àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ yẹn pé bóyá ẹnìkan ń tajà bóyá ó fẹ́ ta ọjà tí yóò wù lóye tó fẹ́ tà á tán wá mú gbogbo tí ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀ bá ti ṣe sí kó fara mọ́. Lẹ́yìn náà wípé ó dé èèwọ̀ láti òní lọ pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ata ti wọ́n sẹ́yìn tó ti wá sílẹ̀ wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ lé ata 500 naira mọ́. Múrí márùn-ún àti àpò kan ẹni tó bá wá fẹ́ rà ó lè kó papọ̀ àyàfẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ ra pẹ̀rẹ̀. Eléyìí tó kú dàbí tiẹ̀ etí ọ̀rọ̀ aláàtàrí àwọn fẹ́ wá láti wá bá wọn lọ́jà papọ̀ kí ara kó lè tẹ̀ wá ní ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀. Pé tá a bá rí ẹ̀dákẹ́dá tó bá lé wọn tí wọ́n bá ti rìpọ́ọ̀tù wọn tó bá ti mú ẹnìyàn á fi ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ní o. Òun ní ká wá sọ fún gbogbo ọjà kì í ṣe bí nìkan o ní gbogbo ọjà tó wà nílé Ifẹ̀ yìí o. Àwọn ọmọ tó ń lọ ní àwọn tó ń jẹ́
Oku àti agbọ̀yọ̀kú ọgbọ́n owó ráìsì ọgbọ́n owó gàrí tábà gbọ́dọ̀ méje ń bẹ̀ wọ́n náà tábà ti mú ọgbọ́n òyìnbó lọ.
So, a chief from the palace of Ooni of Ife and other leaders of market or something, they said they no longer want associations in the market harassing people to sell their wares or sell their food stuff at a certain price. So you can no longer sell, or you can no longer sort of put a bunch of pepper together that will be more than 200 naira now. It should be 100 naira or 200 naira. So everyone wants to come around. Some people may be coming from the farm and they just want to sell the basket of pepper they are bringing out, right? And there could be some people within the market that will say, "Oh, come, we'll buy it from you. You cannot just come and sell your pepper." Then they will begin to now sell them so small, like they will give some small portion to ration it. So that's what they are saying that they don't want anymore. No association should tell anybody how to sell their stuff. And they should not confiscate anybody's wares that disobeys that chooses to sell at their own price, cheaper or more. So I don't know how that works, but if you know economics very well, it is called counterproductive move. And the people they announced it to, they do not know better. And that's why they were so happy. But I don't know if this is the right one. They have all this title for all these things, so but I'll tell you my own layman way, okay? So there's this economic side of demand and supply. So where you have demand, or should I say where you have supplies, there must be demand. Okay, then you supply. Now the way economy work is that you see that small farmer, you see that farmer that grows pepper. Yeah, a farmer that grows pepper that is not imported. And let's say a farmer kind of grows 1 acre of pepper farm or tomato farm. Now to you, right, the farmer shouldn't be ridiculous and be selling a basket for 120,000 naira. Is it not the farm be that there? Here is what you should understand. Person will grow tomato. We need to sell the tomato, okay, in order to pay for his own rent, his own medical, other food like bag of rice and other stuff, right? He will need to sell the tomato to buy them. Then, if a man that, after considering all costs too, okay, if a man that grows tomato decided to be generous because it is not imported, he now decided to sell the tomato as a very nice farmer, okay, which is fine. So two things will happen. This farmer, when he is done, he will not be able to cultivate another 1 acre of land of tomato anymore. Then by the time he takes that money to the market, he needs to buy other food to feed his family. That will be the moment he will realize that, generosity no dey pay the bill. It is the criminals who are in charge of your economy, devaluing your naira, devaluing your effort. They are those responsible for the high cost of food. Those who are freeing terrorists. But do you know what? Do you know what will make what Ooni of Ife said? What will make it work is this. Let's say we have more people growing rice, growing all other crops and all of that stuff, okay? So which means we have them in abundance. Abi? So if you have 2 tons of tomato in the market, 2 tons of red pepper, 2 tons of onions and all of that, everybody brings theirs. It simply means, and the supply part continues, okay? It simply means that the more you sell, the more you make. And just like that, all other perishable goods of food like that, right? They will also take that same heat. When you have more, and then the people's purchasing power is enough. Now look at this. Your minimum wage is 30,000 naira. I'm coming to that one too, right? 30,000 naira minimum wage. Food inflation in Nigeria is put at 41%, right? It's actually over 200-300%, in fact 500% in some cases, right? Now that means your money, your salary, which hasn't really increased, same with your income. If your income is not increasing as the inflation is increasing, you are going to end up poor, run short of everything you are able to get for yourself anyway, right? So if their policies, starting from people actually being able to grow food, not import food. They are planning to import food to Nigeria now that they will share. Probably GMO food somewhere where nobody needs them. And they can easily just go grab them and bring them to Nigeria. To further, they will do that for 5 months. That is to further what? To further destroy your agricultural sector. Now, as they are doing that, it simply means that more people are leaving the farms. And then you would have to import everything you eat. Your naira is weak. Your salary is not increasing. So definitely, Baba, Poverty, you and poverty. Now they do ice bucket challenge. That's what I see. So asking people to give in the order and say you cannot sell more than 100 naira, you cannot sell more than 200 naira is really counterproductive, economically stupid. But they have their audience that believes that, Oni said you cannot sell more than 100 naira. Oni won't stop them when they give you 2 rodo for 100 naira or 2 tomato for 200 naira. Yes. Mama, when they sell tomato, could need to buy gari. A bag of gari is over 100,000 naira. Don't you think that the person that is also selling things to you, they probably also have to buy medication too, just to stay alive that they can sell to you next week? You don't consider all of that. They are all economic factors that the criminals in charge of Nigeria are not interested in dealing with. Okay? So they passed the buck to you. Just same way they went on to borrow money. Agree to different ridiculous conditions. Now they pass it back to you to go and pay. You have to pay. You see that speech that Ruto gave there, that some people are sponsoring protests in his country. I see a vision. Thiefnubu is going to give this speech very soon, when everything will propagate. As we speak, if you see them call out, if you see your pastor tell you the protest is against Nigeria, it's going to be this, stay away from it. Now, for inside church, you're supposed to start beating them. Forget about anointing. Jesus will understand. I'm telling you this. God self will understand when you beat your pastor. Inside the church, they tell you, say, the vision God told him Nigeria will still work. Don't join them in anything. I won't discourage anybody from joining, but you have to join with the intention and the mindset that you are not living until you see the changes to what you want. All these rogues that they are giving appointment to, over 30,000 people have been appointed by Thiefnubu right now, doing nothing. Duplicated agencies, parastat, all of them, everywhere, drawing money. Right? So if you think they can still keep you under that tribal, ethnic, religious chain, then you are the one responsible for that. Don't blame anybody. Don't blame anyone else. Blame yourself, I'll say. So guys, thank you so much. That is the first part of this chart. So the next part is for us to read from our white malice. I know a lot of you are going to just leave because of the reading and all of that. That's fine. The most you should please remember is that if you have to go, try and drop your own offering, like the broadcast just before you do that. And then to someone who is asking me, Maiyegun, is that your link? So I'm going to drop the link to my coffee cups. That will be for everyone who ask, where is that link to that buy you a coffee? So I'll leave that on. The rest, once I finish reading this chapter, then we possibly can take calls if we still have that time. If we don't have the time, then we can take calls later today, I think. Right? So thank you so much for your time. I'm going to give myself a bit of a break, and I will be back in a minute or two. Thanks a lot. I know. Normally, I would ask if we should take calls or just read. I know some of you are already trying to call in. Okay. I just thought that we've not actually read this book in ages. Okay. I know we've been having like some breaks here and there, right? I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be all right to read from this today? Should I ask first? Should I have asked first? Let's see. I'll take this before I continue reading. Hello there. Should I ask first?
Maiyegun. I say you must pick this call before you read that book. I won't talk. You don't tell me I never rant.
I know.
I want to rant.
Right. So I have this collection of some of these fasts from northern Nigeria. They were speaking in the house, and I was like, oh, I wish I could just plug you in and say, Ahmed, I have this and I need your help. But yeah, you are here.
Maiyegun, I'm telling you, but you don't read.
Tell me about it.
You don't read. You don't read for that side. You understand?
Very well. Everything I just said now, concerning this protest and what's going on in northern Nigeria, have you heard anything?
Baba, we did this space, Twitter, TikTok, mostly TikTok self.
Right.
We did on TikTok where we say we did talk about these things. They don't carry them reach one level, but they are still on. Well, I say they are still on that kind of belief. Say, this person is from the southeast. Is trying to put them in a kind of situation whereby they are not looking at what Buhari did to them before now. You understand? Some of them, not all of them, actually. They are kind of one project. They are kind of like projecting it like it is Thiefnubu that brought this hardship on them. You understand? Just some of them, few of them, actually.
Okay.
But it don't really say even their sheikh self, they cry. Because they have never gotten they have never gotten so much disrespect like now. The people who are not listening, they are not listening to them.
Yeah, and because I heard that
it
people
is
are
real.
kind of like murmuring inside mosques, Jumats.
I'm telling you, Maiyegun,
like that.
the moment where you go no say the thing touch them. You get one video where one guy do, he say any sheikh we go climb stage, begin talk, say make we no protest, make the people with there around and make they shake that stage, may fall, may break leg. Now all of them they can't give reply. See, if them burn anybody where you nothing say because we be afar, waiting, the thing don't they touch them themselves. You don't they touch them.
I heard one that was like, I know people are angry, but what we are trying to say is that let's remember the teachings of our prophet. This or that, you remember that
Baba,
your father, you can't disrespect your father and you can't disrespect your teacher. I was like, really?
Baba, some people still delusional. They'll talk, say, Malamai Magadan Annabawa, all those kind of nonsense. That means Malamai and then be the inheritance of the prophets. Now they inherit within prophet do, so they need to listen to them. All those kind of delusions. Some people tell them, say, no, be this Malamai, maybe say they don't use Nigeria resources, buy them finish. Nothing like that.
I saw some of them debunking that I didn't collect any money. Nobody gave me 60 million. It's not true.
Baba,
you should all be very careful of the later life. Don't accuse me of collecting money. I was like, okay.
The thing don't they reach them. They don't they collect, no be small. They collect, they feel the heat right now. They feel the heat. Because
that's why I'm telling people here that if a lot of you have been following the developments in the north, right? I have actually seen them posting the videos of their sheikhs, right? Eating in the house of some politicians. They are posting
exactly
their videos.
now.
Look at them. They are posting their pictures, including this Jingiri.
Jingir.
Yeah,
that one an idiot now.
And now they
that one an idiot.
I said, look at him, hungry man.
And
they said it's so unusual in the north.
Maiyegun,
don't do that, right?
They have never disrespected the malams, the sheikhs like this time around.
Until Thiefnubu came, okay.
And you know that the more reason is it is now obvious to them because they felt that okay, they said let's do a Muslim ticket. We did a Muslim ticket. What has that brought upon us? Now their eye they open say now scam be that Muslim ticket.
After all.
And they are not ready to buy to those nonsense anymore. That's why you see say Omo ebiti pa oju won fo o. Ebiti fair you won't let me.
Yeah.
They're not the 50. Say for southern Nigeria, they still get people where we say they still get people outside where we say they try help them, send them money, all those kind of ones. Where we say see some where we say that they help them over. I want actually lost in actually lost in stop. I want to not be everybody they feel help them. You understand? Baba, sometimes for my page, because I get on Instagram what they use like that. So I mean now I they engage in Hausa mostly because most of my followers now, Hausa people and that kind of thing. So I engage more in Hausa like that. So we have discussion a lot whereby I post video more. I have to lock my DM because problem left and right, everybody go carry wahala come. Left and right. Sometimes I would just look say because I want now you see there's no how they do things. They are still my people somehow. You understand? Sometimes I just yeah. Sometimes I could just Marco your own certain amount say okay, man, just do giveaway this night, make we enjoy us. That kind of thing, just to make them smile. But as they talk, they tell them you still they try do something. Maybe say they try call their attention, maybe they listen. And hopefully they've listened because I mean, out of 100%, I'm telling you right now about 60-70% of the people in the north, they are ready to do whatsoever. They don't care. They don't care.
Now, the agenda they are pushing right now is that if they are not saying the Igbos are sponsoring it, they say the Fulanis are sponsoring. So right now I heard that the Hausa, some of them are pushing the agenda that they will not participate in the Fulani-sponsored protest. Have you heard anything like that?
Not really.
Not yet.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Attention, yeah.
No.
They're already pushing something like that right now. All of this.
Maiyegun, they will push everything. They will push everything. Right now, Kaduna State, as I'm telling you, Kaduna State police commissioner, they've already issued a third that nobody should come out for any protest. And they mean it. But the people now are telling them, if we come out, kill us. Confrontation. If we come out, kill us. I'm telling you. If you got space, go Instagram, go everywhere. As they talk, they give them reply. You go don't see like 100 posts everywhere. The malams, there are some malams where we say they are ready to come out. Some malams, they are ready to come out to come lead this protest. Some of them plenty where they tell those big malam, those big sheikh we say now them they go see the president, they go see governors. They don't tell them say, una no fit talk, una they get access to them, una no fit talk. So we go come out. Our people don't too suffer, and we don't too listen to now.
Do you really see any reality in that from your own perspective?
Maiyegun, I see reality until one of them to get space, enter that space where those big malan enter. Then we understand if not through in the fight for the people or not for his stomach in the try fight. Because now maybe he never get chance. That's why he won't come out. But maybe the moment they notice him say he be like this one self the talk, they drag and come close. They knock him something. Maybe himself will keep quiet. But we never know until we see within the sub. But as of now, Baba, everywhere don't read. Everywhere. The man
we are encouraging them to keep it that way because listen, nobody's coming to rescue anybody. Election can't
You sabi this guy we na commander for Hisba for Kanu. Yeah. As they take respect that guy, Daurawa, as they take respect that guy reach, Baba in collect, they give him back to back. Say the Chris we the suffer, you say no come out. Say we forget say we they respect you. We go do you something. You say waiting they worry you now. Just keep quiet. If you not feel contribute,
from the south who probably because of the language barrier, they are not interested in some of the online conversation of the northern Nigeria.
Yeah, that is it. That is the problem.
It's because of the language.
If you understand,
always writing in Hausa. So majority of people from the south, right? They just stay away. Meanwhile, there are so many things happening. You are right, oh. There are so many things. There's so much awareness too.
I will encourage the people from the south to try, even if it's a translator, get a translator to translate, because this thing they are doing, if they get a collective effort, I'm telling you, as the criminals are planning theirs, they don't know where it go end. Them, they won't do everything that they do as usual. Come out, threaten people, threaten people so that they'll stop. But they don't know where it's going to end. They're going to feel like it's just like maybe answers, we don't know. But me, I'm foreseeing brutality in this thing they are about to do. I'm foreseeing brutality because the criminals will not allow it go. That's why they don't already use the mal and push them come forward. They don't tell them and say, make gonna go do. By the time people come out, come begin do them, they go come send their own talks, they'll begin do their own. But thank God the malam, thank God the malam said they tell them, say, don't Allah, don't confeta, don't kunje zanga zanga, don't Allah babu taba kaya mutani. That means if you guys go out there to go and protest, please and please do not touch anybody's property. Do not vandalize anybody's property, because that's what they're going to use and hold us down from getting what we want. Let's go out there, concentrate on what we want to do, and let's make sure that we are doing it. Those will help them.
I mean, yeah,
hopefully they do the right thing.
There's always a time when we're going to come in, though, right? Let them people talk, say, make you help them. Say, please help me. I want to carry these things. They have to see you bend down and ready to carry it too. So we are watching. Ahmed,
Baba,
we'll talk more later. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So usually I would have asked Ahmed to speak Hausa there, but I also want to kind of like you said, to one stone to kill two birds. Okay. Let him speak directly to all of us at once. Mix it as he did. So I'm going to go read our white malice. We have gotten to this part where Lumumba is the president of Congo. I've been a prime minister, president. Now, we have also gotten to a stage where they were already plotting to get him killed or removed. The CIA, 1960s. Was bloody. That was the moment the gang up, led by America, came for those early freedom fighters in Africa. And all their dreams, majority of them could never be fulfilled. They were killed in their prime. And they were killed by their own people. Incited or instigated by the American CIA and others. If we don't read this to quickly close the gap, we can be on this for a long time. So please bear with me. It's just going to be a chapter. It may take the entire time we have left. I have 20 pages. 20 pages that we need to read in this chapter. And that is part 6. Chapter 18. Of the white malice, the CIA and the neo-colonization of Africa. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get on. So bribery, bugging, and green berets. The initiative in the Congo lay in Accra. Observed the South African journalist Colin Legum in his 1961 study, Congo Disaster. From there, President Nkrumah kept in daily contact with Leopoldville and the United Nations headquarters and carried on rapid consultation with other African states through his ambassadors in their capitals, as well as through the ambassadors in Accra. There were posters on the street of Accra calling for the support of the Ghanaian troops and campaigns for cigarettes and other comfort for the soldiers away from home. Radio Ghana transmitted a special program from Accra to be rebroadcast by willing Congolese radio stations and by a special broadcasting unit set up by the Ghana Army, which carried messages to individual Ghanaian soldiers from their families and friends. The program's signature tune was, the program's signature tune was played by E.T. Mensah and his Tempos, a hugely popular highlife band. It was quickly remembered because of its catchy words. Congo, Congo, River Congo, me no sabi swim, water they take me go, Congo, Congo. Me no sabi swim, water they carry me go, Congo. It's a song. I don't know if that's how it sounded though, but manager. Grown men wept when it came on the air, said Cameron Duodu, who was working for Radio Ghana. But the Congo was a chaotic and dangerous place, and almost everyone feared for those who went there and lived in fear that they might never return home alive. On the 1st of August, Ghana's National Graphic published a photograph of 3 Ghana police officers managing the air radio station in Leopoldville. It also quoted from a welcome by the Congolese Minister of Health to a Ghanaian medical team bringing doctors, 4 nursing sisters, a radiographer, and a laboratory technician. Regard Congo as your own country and save the lives of his people, said the minister gracefully. We have confidence in you more than anybody else. He went on. Work as you work at home in Ghana. This is your own home. We won't forget this. Nkrumah created a new Ghana office in the Congo to serve as an administrative liaison between himself and Lumumba. To lead it, Michael Dane Anang, a first-class civil servant, was released from his routine work as principal secretary of the foreign ministry. In addition, a dedicated coordinating committee was established in Accra to assist the Congo under the chairmanship of Kwaku Boateng, the Minister of Information. Members of the committee included Colonel Eric Otu, the senior Ghanaian officer in the army, Geoffrey Bing, the Attorney General, General Alexander, and a military officer with logistic expertise, Richard Kwashi, was appointed secretary to the committee. On the 12th of July, the committee sent a mission to Leopoldville. Another member of the committee was Aloysius K. Barden, the director of Bureau of African Affairs, who was increasingly involved in the Congo. At the end of July, he moved to Leopoldville to coordinate the work of the BAA agents. I left for Congo to assist our brothers in consolidating their newly hard-won independence. He wrote a friend in Uganda on 30th July, and also to achieve their territorial integrity and sovereignty, which are being threatened by mass invasion of Belgium, imperialists. Barden returned briefly to Accra to submit a report to Nkrumah. He then returned immediately to his work in the Congo. Both Ghana and the US were embroiled in the developing crisis of the Congo, but almost from the beginning, argues historian Nwaubani Ebere, the two had fundamental differences on the issue. The most fundamental difference was that of purpose. Ghana was seeking to protect the legitimate government of the Congo and was making considerable sacrifices in order to achieve that goal. The US, by contrast, was seeking to undermine Lumumba and his government and to advance the perceived interest of the US. In this process, the CIA took a key role. Larry Devlin arrived in Leopoldville as the CIA chief of a station of the Congo in early July, probably the 10th or 11th, 1960. About 10 days after independence and 5 days after the mutinying of the army, his cover was that of political officer in the embassy, and his office was next door to that of Ambassador Timberlake, with whom he forged a friendship. Sometimes, commented Devlin, there was friction between foreign service officers and CIA personnel in an embassy, but not under Ambassador Timberlake, who set the tone from the outset, making it clear that he would not tolerate any kind of tough wars or infighting. Devlin already had a close relationship with Bill Borden, who was close to Timberlake. These links quickly translated into a triangle of men who were of one mind. Shortly after my arrival, wrote Devlin in Chief of Station, Congo, I drove in a borrowed car to a house in Binza, a suburb of Leopoldville, on a hill overlooking the city, where I met an agent who had been on the books for some time. He was one of the few agents I inherited, and I had to start building up a network from scratch. This gives the impression that the CIA presence in the Congo was patchy at best. Such a picture was frequently promoted by officials. The CIA had had one agent in the Congo, observed Owen W. Roberts, who was the consular and commercial officer in the embassy in Leopoldville. But judging even by Devlin's sparse account, this was misleading. He had a deputy, Eugene Leroy Jeffers Jr., who served undercover of political officer at the embassy. He also had a deep cover agent who worked in secret at the office of Pierre Mulele. Since Mulele was the Minister of Education in Lumumba's cabinet and a central figure among Lumumbists, so is that what they were called? Lumumba supporters were called Lumumbists. So Lumumbist, his appointment afforded a valuable source of information for Devlin. Two additional assets were referred to by Devlin as Dad and Bobby. One of Devlin's agents was JIBWIS, that's a Jack, a Belgian who owned a plantation. Jeff, my new deputy, Devlin recorded, was his case officer, and soon had him, Jack, suggesting anti-Lumumba storylines to his friend, the newspaper editor, and getting steady feedback from all sources. In addition, wrote Devlin, we were already monitoring parliament and encouraging and guiding the actions of various parliamentary opposition groups that we had penetrated. We were seeking political leaders who might marshal their supporters against Lumumba when a vote of confidence was called. Jack used his contacts with the youth, with labor leaders, and with Abaco to foment demonstrations against Lumumba in the weeks that followed independence. This may explain a crowd encountered by Lumumba in front of the Prime Minister's residence when he returned from the US in late June 1960. A gathering of adolescent girls wearing white skirts, orange skirts, and blue caps, the uniform of the youth of Abaco, who cried out, "Down with Lumumba, down with the traitor government." Devlin was highly appreciative of a temporary duty officer who worked under official cover in the embassy, and in the embassy, This asset, referred to by Devlin as Mike, was experienced and extremely competent as well as fluent in French. He had been sent to the Congo by his home station, Devlin wrote, though without identifying which home country this was, with instructions to develop contacts among that nation's troops assigned to the United Nations military force. Though I appreciate the other station's needs, I quickly drafted Mike to serve as a station case officer because we needed all the help we could get against our local and Soviet targets. Mike remained in the Congo for several months. A woman working with the CIA was attached to the US Embassy, but Devlin made no mention of her. Apart from this woman and Alison Palmer, the vice consul, the embassy staff were essentially an all-male group. A number of Americans were living in the Congo at this time, and the US Embassy tried to recruit some of them as sources of information. One of these was Albert Weiss, who refused. My relationship with the US Embassy in Leopoldville was strained, he recalled many years later. And one reason was that they assumed that I would be a reasonable source of information on the grounds that I had worked at the State Department less than a year earlier. This thought ways was understandable, but he was not in a position to assist. I could not be helpful with raw information because I was in the Congo under academic auspices for the Center of International Studies at MIT. I had presented myself to the Congolese leaders and party representatives as an independent scholar. I felt that sharing such information with any government or intelligence agency was inconsistent with this, especially where I was given free access to their supporters. He added, and no one at the US Embassy ever asked for my opinion as to what I thought US policy should be. On this, I think I would have given them a full answer had they ever asked. I would have said that in my opinion, Lumumba is entirely open to negotiations, especially with the United States, and I would urge you to enter into negotiation with him. One of Devlin's regular visitors was Albert Kalonji, who announced the secession of South Kasai in August 1960. Kalonji was seeking American support to overthrow Lumumba, recalled Devlin in his memoir, and he wasn't the only one. For several other politicians visited me with the same idea in mind. Given that Devlin and other CIA officials were actively inspiring Kalonji and other politicians to oppose Lumumba, this statement was disingenuous at best. Howard Imbre passed out money to selected politicians while he was in the Congo. This was a task in which Devlin, too, took a role after his arrival. By now, payments were being made to the 5 members who formed the nucleus of the Binza group, so-called because its members lived in the elite Leopoldville suburb of Binza, where only white people had lived before independence. This powerful clique comprised Mobutu, Army Chief of Staff, Victor Nendaka, Justin Bimboko, Foreign Minister, Albert Ndele, Finance Aide, and Damien Kandolo. Also on the list of recipients were Kasavubu, the Senate President Joseph Ilio, and Cyril Adola. Further information about the bribing of Congolese politicians emerged in 1975 in the course of the wide-ranging and revelatory investigations of the Church Committee, a U.S. Senate committee chaired by Democratic Senator Frank Church to investigate the intelligence activities of the U.S. government. An important dimension of his investigation was the events taking place in the Congo in 1960 to 1961. In the course of the Church Committee investigation, Douglas Dillon was asked, were you aware that the U.S. was supplying financial support or other kinds of support to moderate politicians within the Congo who would be opponents of Lumumba? He replied, not in detail, but certainly the general fact that we would be doing that, yes. Soldiers were also bribed by the CIA. UN liaison officers attached to Mobutu noted the constant comings and goings of Western military attachés who visited Mobutu with bulging briefcases containing thick brown paper packets, which they obligingly deposited on the table. The United Nations officers did not know what they contained, but could not help making guesses. A senior UN official believed that with this money, Mobutu's men became by far the most affluent soldiers in Africa. The historian David Gibbs has commented that these highly paid soldiers may not have numbered more than a few hundred, but he adds they constituted virtually the only functioning units in the Armée Nationale Congolaise. With such a political base, he points out Mobutu was able to play a decisive role. The CIA used Mobutu and his soldiers as a freelance strike force. It has been alleged that Frank Carlucci, a political officer at the US Embassy, was working for the agency. He vigorously denied these allegations. Between 1957 and 1959, Carlucci had been on the staff of the US Embassy in Johannesburg as a commercial officer. Whether or not he was CIA, he worked hard to collect intelligence on the Pan-Africanist Congress. In an interview in 1997, he recalled, I got acquainted with the movement, which interestingly, nobody in Pretoria had been able to do. Our embassy was constrained from attending the meetings. The meetings were in Johannesburg. So I established a personal relationship with some of the political officers in Pretoria. I reported to them. The Pan-Africanist Congress in South Africa, abbreviated as the PAC, had been founded in 1959 by Mangaliso Robert Sobukwe. National Congress, said, a university lecturer, as a breakaway movement from the African National Congress, ANC, identifying itself as Black nationalist and anti-communist. The PAC's anti-communism attracted the attention of Washington. According to Dennis Epstein in White Lies, the ANC later suggested that its new rival was a CIA creation. The conception taking place in the Johannesburg offices of the United States Information Service, where Portlake Lebalo, the National Secretary of PAC, had been employed. This allegation has been challenged as factually inaccurate. But in any case, as Epstein notes, the split was not displeasing to Pretoria, the new Congress might weaken the ANC, whose non-racial demands could not possibly be appeased. But the message of Africa for the Africans might, with skill, be blended into the realm of separate development. At the end of his posting in South Africa, Kalushi went back to the US for French language training before being sent to the Congo in 1960, 15 days before independence. When he first arrived, he did not have much contact with the CIA. Nonetheless, he considered it a priority to collect intelligence. So he wrote, I persuaded the DCM, Deputy Chief of Mission, Rob McCavin, a marvelous man, to allow me to rent a Volkswagen. So I had my own car and didn't go around in an embassy chauffeured car. I then got myself some press credentials because the press moved around more freely than anybody else could. Lumumba tended to hold a press conference a day, and I figured it was important to get into those. Then I got myself a pass to the parliament, which was in formation, and basically spent all day outside the embassy, just floating in from time to time. Kalushi described Lumumba as an absolute spellbinder, a very charismatic man. There is a brief mention in Devlin's memoir of the bugging of the telephones of an office belonging to the Sheikhs, presumably Czechoslovakia. That's the Czechoslovakia's embassy. This required a house nearby to use a listening post. This required a house nearby to use as a listening post, which was organized by Jeff and an American technician sent out to the Congo to assist them. Few details are given by Devlin, apart from an episode in which the technician, groping for wires in the darkness, wrapped his hand around a snake. Devlin's memoir is threaded with moments of danger when he remained cool and collected. Taking a deep drag on a cigarette, but the book is incomplete and unreliable. It is a collection of anecdotes, often implausible, tied loosely together. At times, it appears to be deliberately misleading. In any case, many aspects of his life appear to have been routine. His wife, Colette, and daughter, Maureen, joined him in Leopoldville, where Colette enjoyed teaching her cook to prepare favorite dishes, and Maureen went to a riding club. They lived in a house less than 100 yards from the Ghana embassy and near the residence of the Timberlakes. Alison Palmer, the US Vice Consul, was candid about the advantages of being a well-funded American in Leopoldville. We had a 2-hour lunch hour, and I would go to the swimming pool with some friends, and we would play a couple of sets of tennis, and then cool off in the pool, and then have lunch, and get back to work again. Laughs. And I belonged to the riding club there and did a lot of riding. The pleasures of the Devlin's family life did not prevent him from admiring Madame Bloin, Lumumba's chief of protocol. To his eyes, she was a striking, light-skinned beauty. He regretted that she was anti-white and reportedly had considerable influence with Lumumba. But all the same, he found her tantalizing. Less tantalizing was Daphne Park. That is a Devlin's MI6 counterpart in the Congo. who had arrived in 1959 under cover of post consul at the British Embassy, and caught a short, stout, and frumpy figure for years and years. Park told a Guardian journalist in 1979, "I have looked like a missionary, which was a great advantage in my career." According to one British correspondent in Leopoldville, in 1960, Park was to be seen everywhere, a large, bespectacled lady, usually with a cigarette ash on her ample bosom. Another British correspondent in the Congo described her as a very unusual political secretary, a large, jolly, and immensely well-informed girl. She drives a small car, always full of people, and successfully invites the most astonishing collection of rival African leaders to her house outside Leo. Park and Devlin became good friends, sharing similar attitudes towards events in the Congo. While Daphne and I worked separately and did not have any joint operations, Devlin recalled in his memo, "We know each other well and had come to similar conclusions. She was," he thought, "one of the best intelligence officers I have ever encountered. She harbored communism and the Soviet Union and felt a strong hostility towards the United Nations, strongly disapproving of Amashkot. The United Nations force had very curious ground rules concerning non-intervention." She observed curious ground rules, right? She observed in 1989 in an interview with the New Yorker, which caused me to become disillusioned with the United Nations forever. That was her. "It was interesting to many of the African nationalists," said Park, "because I traveled up and down the coast a lot, to Ghana, Nigeria, and French West Africa. When I first arrived, I used to go to fetch the embassy mail from Accra. Most people like to do it once or twice, but then got bored. Whereas I didn't mind. One had to cross the river to Brazzaville, then fly to Douala, often getting stuck in Gabon en route. One would get as far as Lagos, then get stuck again before reaching Accra. It would take 3 days," she added. "I was meeting and talking with people all the way, so I knew what was in the air." She regarded her job in MI6 as not simply intelligence gathering, but also intervention. Once you get really good inside intelligence about any group, she explained in a television documentary in 1992, you are able to learn where the levers are and what one man fears of another. You set people discreetly, you set people discreetly against one another. They destroy each other. We don't destroy them. So I'm going to leave it at that. So I think it's ideal we take 1 or 2 more calls, okay? So I'll leave it at that. We'll continue later, okay? Just to make sure that at least you have a chance of hearing your views as you would want to. So I'm going to open the line. We have, oh, hang on. I think we only have just about half an hour. So I can take off for 30 minutes instead of using the rest, the 30 minutes to read the remaining 10 pages, okay? So we'll keep the line open. And it won't just be like Ahmed was the only person who got through, right? So I'll call it a break, okay? I'll call it a break, and it's just going to be briefly. So if you want to be part of this or you have something to say on what you have heard so far, then grab your phone. Yeah, grab your phone and use the WhatsApp. It's actually WhatsApp call, okay? So let's see how many of the calls we can take. I'll be back. Hello there.
Yeah, this is your namesake again calling from Seychelles.
This
Olushola, this is
from
Olushola calling.
Seychelles, sir. Olushola. That's my namesake, though. How are you
So
today?
how are you doing?
Very well, oh.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on you. I'm good on you. You see, one of the interesting read, the one you were reading, the one that really caught my fancy, was the one the agent was saying, we do not destroy them. They destroy themselves.
That's right, sir.
All they needed to do anywhere is just to set us to ourselves, and then we self-destroy, we destroy ourselves. We just complete the job. So that's why when people are thinking we are free, we just, that freedom is just like a mirage. From the slavery period to the colonization period to this new colonization period, which experts says even new colonization is the worst. Kwame Nkrumah said new colonization is the worst form of colonization.
That's right.
Because people will think they are free. What we had was just flag. They just gave us flags. They are still running the strings at the behind. They are just there running the strings. You self-destruct. For instance, look at the case of Ruto.
Did you hear that part where those Kenya, that brilliant Kenya, I was analyzing how they have already infiltrated their politics and made them feel like they are electing their leaders.
I heard that.
Good.
I heard that. It is the same thing playing all over Africa. It is just this. You see, they have their trappings. They are just behind the scenes running the show. That's why they will make us to elect the worst of us. You know, when Ruto came, Ruto was just, I was telling somebody that this guy was suffering from what we call halo effect.
Right.
He just came in on the show. He was attacking the West. He was talking to Macron. People were saying, oh, maybe we have a new messiah in Africa. But when he started going to US, when he started supporting their rubbish deal to send his own policemen to go and die a useless death in Haiti. So I knew that something was in the offing.
Honestly.
He's not the guy, he's not the messiah.
No, he's crying that the NGOs are taking over his country. They are the ones sponsoring protests now. So he's about to them, I think.
He's a very stupid man. He actually taught the so-called the normal playbook which all these corrupt African leaders do. Okay, they want to have an uprising. Let's crush them. Once we kill them, we annihilate them. They will input fear into them, and then they will cow. But that just completely failed. So it's just like a diamond, just like a sinking man that is just looking for anything to hang on to. He was just trying to hang on to anything. He's just a foolish man. But the way I just thank God is that Kenyans, Africans are actually waking up, and the Gen Z are actually like, okay, the leaders, the millennium, they have failed us. We must not fail ourselves. Because the future belongs to the youth. Normally the future belongs to them.
Nobody cares about anybody's future.
Nobody cares about them. So they use all sorts of nonsense. You are not respecting us. You are not use also all those nonsense to gaslight them, to annihilate them, and
calling on the Kano people a whole imam, and that's what they do. Sir.
Yeah, I saw it. But this time around, my prayer is that all these their gimmicks will just fail. They must taste the bitter pill of their poison. They must be able to taste it this time around, because many of them are now coming out. Imagine Senator Ndume and all those ones. These people, you are not taking care of them. We've been telling you. But the question is, you two were part of them. They need to be caring. Now, what they want to do is to exonerate themselves because they know that anarchy looms. And they know that somewhere, people are writing names of those that should feel these bitter pills. So they now want to call, they want to do like double agents. all the double agents, they want to. Okay, so you won't really say,
now I spoke
out to,
don't touch me.
I said to, don't touch me, oh. At least I was sincere.
You know, I spoke out for you. Please, let me keep my own.
That is just what they are trying to do. All of them are the same.
We switch side when the shit hit the fan, truly, sir.
That is the problem.
And big mouth. But when the old chiefs are down, sir, if it gets to that stage, you see so many of them begin to switch their mouth and say, oh, we need to listen to our people. Oh, this is true. This country is not moving forward. But first, they will do everything to suppress it. And that's what they are doing now. Suppress it. Stop them.
They're trying.
Oh, yeah. They will meet their Waterloo. We are counting the hour. We are counting the days. It's just a matter of time, Baba. Thank you so much. Namesake there for that. I'm gonna. I think we have a problem. Can you even believe that? That despite the line that should be as kind of open as it should be, just turned off now. Give me a minute. Let me give it some juice. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere yet. Okay.
My name is Maiyegun, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government, to the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the International Community for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
Oyedu Igbos, Omeriwo Nindizu, Oniya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori Meri Nandi go Oyedu Igbos, Omeriwo Nindizu, Ondiroya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori Meri Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three.
I have a caller, and I think I got it back up. Okay, hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Oh, good afternoon to you. It's Idris, yeah?
Yeah, yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to everyone on the platform. Yes, sir. Firstly, I will keep thanking you for the enlightenment always and for the book that you are reading.
Thanks.
So let me quickly go to my own point. What I just want to say is about it's not a norm. It's something that normally happens, and it's just about the corruption that has been embedded in the country. About how if you are not dining and whining with the kleptomanic politicians, you will not get to the hem of affair. I come across this morning while listening to the newspaper review. I saw them saying about this lady that was under the probe of EFCC. That was this lady, Beta Edu. Yes. That what happened? That Plateau building that collapsed. So she sympathized on her social handle, and she actually used the letterheaded paper. I mean the letterheaded thing of that Office of Humanitarian Affairs. So the thing just cracked me up. Yes, yes, she issued a statement. So that thing cracked me up. That does it mean that they swept the case underneath? The EFCC have swept the case underneath? Because I don't even get it in this country. Corruption. I don't think corruption can just end. The only thing that can end this rubbish thing is protest, as in the protest that will not even call for we are going to Idumota to do a protest. Just let us start it once and for all. Because see, if we continue to allow these people to rule us and we keep saying that we cannot fight them, before we know it, it's going to get worse and worse, and nothing is going to stop it. So the best thing for us now is to let us just have a unanimous thinking. All of us should just have one thinking. We should just unite. Because if we can't unite, okay, let's say we the South are agitating that we want to go for protest. Then the South are even saying that we don't want. So there's no unanimous agreement. So we have to just bring our mind together. So that we can fight this thing once and for all. We need.
I think a lot of people are speaking from the experience of the past, where people have been scared never to come out. But others are saying that no, this is going to be different. Even though, yes, you are hearing all this fear mongering and all of that stuff. I think every now and then there are those that are already, they are prepared to get out there. Okay. So what we should be doing is to encourage them to say it is the right thing to do. You will be convinced, you will be threatened, they will say a lot of things to try to discourage you. All of this.
Okay. They say that we are being tormented. Are we not being tormented psychologically, emotionally? So everything is already even affecting us. So all these people that are in the hem of their affair, that they are doing democracy up and down. Inside their Agbada, inside their Babariga, they have the military uniform now. So they are just being ruling us simultaneously. They are ruling us in military. So let us just go out there.
It's not pseudo-democracy. That's not what you have in that's not democracy. It's called
it's a country whereby it's a country whereby if you speak the truth, they are going to clap on you. If you do this, you are going to clap on you. So another scenario is that okay, let me just bring this BRT, all this BRT, all this. Do you believe that in Nigeria, law are only meant for the poor?
100%.
So if for example, now let's say downfall driver, let's say downfall driver pass one. Let's say downfall driver passes through BRT lane. You just see a last man just wave, double. But let's see another man just pass through that thing. You see how they are going to climb them down. Many things are just going wrong in this country.
Pass BRT lane.
No, I'm just doing this.
I get you because it happens. So, I've seen people fight what do you call it? They fight last man because they were caught passing through the BRT lane, dedicated lane. You don't pass that, and nobody should be fighting anybody. if you have dedicated lane like that, I'm still coming back to your context, okay? I just kind of want to say this, right?
Okay.
So we're having a chat, we had a meeting yesterday, okay? And at that meeting, there was a conversation around how almost everybody in Nigeria is really mad right now. Sure, you get any small thing like this, everybody just lose everything a fight and all of that. However,
yes, sir.
You know, we were told that one of us was angry because one of the last man in Lagos, right, was trying to kind of Ozula. Okay, she was holding her phone. She said she wasn't using the phone, but the last man sort of clocked her with the phone, and as usual, want to obtain her. And she just like, I be with the near, I be, you know, like that. Anyway, she left. I said, now, if you are too soft, that's how they will take advantage of you. Then I was like, well, normal, you're not supposed to hold your phone when you are driving now. So, well, this is Nigeria, Gary. I'm not using it. I was just like, I was like, even me waiting here. If I hold my phone while I'm beside the steering, right? I will just be I will be checking and make sure there is no police passing or police car coming. Because I know that if it happens in this country, I will have to pay like about 60 pounds. That's the best judgment I will get. But Nigeria is such a lawless place, yeah, that the same people that are holding other people, private cars passing the BRT lane, downfall will pass it, others will pass. Even some big men will pass the BRT lane and say, do you know who I am? Do you know who you are talking to? Do you know Idris? Even though you are reporting some, what do you call it, some anomaly, right? But do you know that is the reason why some people want Nigeria to remain the way it is because it is only in Nigeria you can be very lawless and get away with it. Do you know that?
Yes.
It is only in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
And for this reason alone, where one MC Oluero and his gang, they can violate any law, right? But they will get away. But they don't want you to even try, okay? Violate a single one of it. And you know why some of them want Nigeria to remain that way? Why they will do everything to keep Nigeria that way? Nigeria is the only country that I know of, okay, that you can get away with a lot of things that will see you to jail anywhere in the world. And there are those who live abroad as well. The reason why they want Nigeria to remain that way is the place they can go to do all the horrible things that will normally send them to jail or bankrupt them, the one that they will pay fine and they will sweat. Nigeria is the only place they can get away with all of that. So back to your BRT story, it is a lawless place. And yeah,
it is a lawless place.
Maybe
it is.
Push harder, you could get rid of criminals who are making laws and implementing the same laws on you. You could have it better. Idris.
So it remains. I have another this thing to say. Yeah, it's about religious tolerance. Religious tolerance, as in what I mean is not about being. What I mean is that let's say you are in a public. I need your advice on this. You are in a probably. I'm in Memodwen right now, or in the public transport, and probably. And you are still hungry, everybody, you know, and someone just come up with a prayer or as in evangelism stuff like that inside the public transport. I just need your advice because you have been my mentor. Is he allowed to just say, please, can you just have a decorum? This is a public environment. Please, can you just make a decorum of it?
100%.
Because I just need your advice because I have been having these nostalgic moments around me like that, and this thing is even both in Christianity and Islam. You just see Solo and Nabi Kerim, something like that. As in, I'll just say, you know, public transport, Lena. Why can't you just keep a document? So I just need your advice because in this country, everybody's mad. Everybody's mad already.
Because my advice, if I should advise you, mine is that when you tell somebody who is disturbing you with this their religious, this or that. If you tell them once, tell them twice, third time, punch them. That would be an advice. Or an opinion on the matter, which can also serve as an advice how you act, is that those people are not religious people. Idris, you see those people that come and do evangelism in the car park. They are not winning any soul by just forget it. Right? It is a long-time technique developed by people who are begging for money, extortionists, lazy bums. They don't like you to call them that. Right? Since they can carry the Bible, cram some verses and chapters, and speak directly to what is mostly concerning a lot of you. Everybody is worried about what is going to, where they were going, about this finance, about that rent, about this, about that. So somebody who is also suffering same can then begin to come and start shouting heaven, hell, prosperity, heaven, safety, security, money, all of that in your ear, just screaming. Only later to ask you to give whatever you have to God. And sometimes people will give you money, 100 naira, 200 naira, 500 naira. They'll go to the next boss. They'll go to the next one. Those are not doing that because of the forget it. So normal, if you, whatever you feel towards them, as a religious person that you might be, you are not wrong. Those are extortionists.
Because I believe that if you want to preach to me, I need to understand what you are preaching.
No,
so I don't want to.
No, they need your permission. Anybody, you see, when somebody wants to preach to you, the first question is, please, can I have 5 minutes of your time? Or at that place, they don't ask. It is all begging reformatted. They know that if they use the name of God, a lot of you fear God, than you fear, than you fear bullets. So, because of this, they can drop it. And some people are very good. You know, some people are very good in talking you into something that will begin to say, don't ever fall for them. It is a trashy thing. Or if you have a real working place, some of them brought that idea to the UK, but we kind of, they know. You know what I mean? So you either get arrested or you correct yourself. Okay? So it is one of those things. I mean, just like your pastors, some of those, your pastors and imam,
no,
most of them are doing so because they extort you.
Maiyegun, sorry to say this, sir. Do you know that with your lecturing and enlightenment, I realized that I don't need someone to preach to me. No. Everything that is happening around me is enough for me to get lecture from. Okay, you see someone today, and tomorrow the person is no more. Isn't that a lecture for you? You say, okay, look at the lawmaker that died last week and was buried immediately. All the money that he has amassed into several accounts now, several accounts. That one is gone. So everything is. I don't need any. To me, I don't need anybody to preach to me.
I like the old Wasi when I was still younger. When I was still Abdul Rashid, by the way, right? So they always have this Wasi. Wasi. You see, Wasi there, like there are things that get you thinking. They don't talk about money. They don't talk about this prosperity nonsense. They talk about life generally, to be good. They teach you. They kind of want you to be a better person. Even though they did so by kind of scaring me enough until I just said, shut up. You get what I mean? Like, there are morality in some things that they preach that are real. You can relate with them. Not some people just imaginary nonsense to kind of, or because they are looking at your pockets. If it's heavy, if it's flat. I got to Nigeria to go and bury my mom, right? So, and then I had to go and see a member of my dad's family who happened to be my kind of senior uncle, right? So, and they call the place Mowe. You know Mowe, Ibafo. After,
Mowe, Ibafo, yeah.
So we got there, and I don't know, he just said that he wants to take me to his pastor. Why?
Pastor.
I don't know, because, I come from what do you call it, polygamous home myself, right? So my dad, I'm not, the story around polygamous home now, If somebody is not doing you, if the senior wife is not doing the junior wife's children, the junior wife's children will be doing the senior wife's children, kind of a thing, right? I don't believe in that crap anymore. Okay, but I'm sharing this story with you because I want to tell you how much they can size you. And I'm saying this to everybody else who is watching. So they sized me. So it was like, I should go and see this, their pastor is a white garment church. And I love them. I love white garment people. So when I got there, this guy looked at me. All they needed is just my name and maybe the name of my mom. And maybe just a little background of me. I know the drill. I know the game. Here you get. So I got in. This guy said, let us pray. He started all this drama. Then the next stage was that they're not telling you, so I just came back from Scotland to bury my mom. And I was like, no, I mean, they haven't told me that. Oh, I see you in the midst of you are like a very great man. But there are so many hands, right? Unseen hands. They are holding you down. I was like, who? Me? Where? And it was like, I want to so they size you. If you are the one who is still struggling, they will say, just pay this so and so, and your prosperity will come. It's the same with those people who are in the garage. Some just get houses to do it and say, come to us. Others, they come to the car park, okay, to come and give you your own prosperity. So don't fall for them. Pray by yourself. If you are somebody who is religious, pray for yourself. And then keep your faith. You see, wherever you are needed to stand up and fight for something, right? Do not cower and lock yourself away. You have to stand up. Okay? So, Idris.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maiyegun.
So we are looking forward to the 31st of July, and then we'll see how that goes.
Well, let's see how it goes. Anyhow it comes, we are here for it because we are all tired. We are all tired. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me go get ready for the evening. Hopefully, I will make it down here this evening. Thank you. I'll just take one more. My time is so up, but this one seems like what can be done there quickly. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun General.
Oh,
Maiyegun General, good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning to you too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm very well. I'm doing very good. Thank you for your great program, for everything that you do. Me, I appreciate you personally. Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you for reading the White Malice. I think we should just get it done as soon as possible. So thank you for putting in that effort to continue the process of finishing White Malice. But I wanted to talk about the Oni of Ife and his proclamation to banish traders that increase the prices of foods in the market.
His own set threshold. It's not as if to say he even brought a patache, tomato, and rodo to the market. And so, give it to all of them to be selling. Now, from now on, I don't want anybody to sell it more than. No, it just came from nowhere and gave the order. That doesn't make any sense. But people don't know. Baba?
Exactly. You see, it's so unfortunate that we found ourselves in a confused contraption where people just think they have some magical powers. They think they can perform miracles and wonders. How is it any logical for a king, an educated so-called king, to want the market women and men to perform magic? The reason why the prices of foodstuff is going up is because of the horrible economy in the system, number one. Number two, we know the farmers, herders situation. Farmers can't go to their farmlands. That has depleted the amount of foodstuff that makes it to the market, thereby increasing.
Even in the all needs are where the farmers there are having all their farms destroyed, right? Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, or your state, where all of the farm settlements are being destroyed. Then the next state next to them is this, that is government farm settlement have been overrun by these Fulani terrorists. But yeah, let's dance to the gallery. The king has commanded.
You can imagine. And that's why people like us have no respect. Obviously, we don't have any respect for the political institution. But when it comes to these traditional institutions, the political institutions, we know these are ravaging, murderous terrorists that are looking for blood to suck. Their job is to kill everybody. Now, the traditional institutions that millions of people still love, and they still support and they respect because, oh, it's our tradition, it's our religion.
We have to preserve it.
You can't be respecting people that don't respect you, people that look at you as fools. If this traditional ruler truly wanted to prevent price gouging, what he should have done was to provide some sort of alleviation to the marketers. You know, like you said earlier, come through with 500 trailer loads of tomatoes, peppers, and have these farmers or these traders buy them at subsidized pricing so that the people in the community can benefit. But that's not how it works. To them, it's just magic. It's just magic. Oh, I command.
Because I am living in the
Imagine me. I'm poverty stricken. Poverty has finished my life throughout my entire life, right? I'm supposed to worship a king that is a billionaire, right? Now, this king that is a billionaire is coming out and telling me that just lose all the profits in your business because I commanded you to do so. And I'm doing this because I love my people. I love my people. So I want you to stop selling food stuff to them at expensive prices. So reduce your prices. Even if that kills your business, reduce your price.
You have to.
Come on, man. Come on. And that's why, see, this is part of the clash that we have in this fake country. The traditional institutions, they are still delusional. The traditional institutions are still delusional, thinking that they have any power, but they don't. They have zero powers. They are clowns.
Can you remember when people will tell you, we are our own enemy. We are our own enemy. How can they be selling a gari that we have here in Nigeria? They are selling gari. People will go school.
May they go farm the gari now.
Also a family. Okay?
The people where they complain.
And she will only get them wherever she make from the gari. How many times have you heard that?
The thing say, even this morning, Maiyegun, I saw it this morning on Instagram.
Yeah. Any small thing like this,
people
they don't increase the price. They don't increase the price. Say, God damn it, look where they lost school, oh, Africa Wala. I lost school.
Maiyegun, all these people, they know how to play on our emotions. This fake Oba now, he has come, he wants to look like a superhero. So to him, he wants the people to look at him like a superhero. Oh, this king loves us so much. He loves us so much that he wants us to buy food at cheap prices. But it's a lie. The stupid king doesn't have any power to control nothing. He's useless. Why can't people understand this? You get me? Plus, this useless king, my brother, this useless king is telling me that because I refuse to reduce the prices of my pepper, I'm going to banish you from Ile-Ife. Who the fuck are you, bro? This useless country's constitution says I can live in any part of this country. So who are you? A useless king. Okay, I know the constitution is also useless. I'm not going to pretend. The constitution is useless. Your traditional institution is useless. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
Not that bad. Yeah, they have problem, but it's not that bad. That doesn't mean that you should disrespect them. Alaye, they are disrespecting us. Can't you even see?
I mean, we're not fools, bro. There is OAU-Ife. Obatseye Awolowo University.
It's a pure insult. Insulting your own intelligence, Baba. Now you should feel offended.
And Baba, you go see many educated people. You go see professors from that OAU-Ife. Professors from OAU-Ife. They go say, our king. Which king? Maiyegun, thank you for your show, my brother. Make I no offend people too much.
Well. Thank you. I think I have people here who are also debunking that Maiyegun is not everybody that go and do evangelism that is begging. I understand then, okay, maybe I should just take it back at some of them. Okay. Thank you, the Africa Wala, okay? Mm-hmm. Idris, let me rephrase what I told you because it's true. There are those who have this Holy Spirit tell them to go out on evangelism. I'm specifically talking about those that always pester the passengers. You will tell them that, oh, Benny, please now, but they won't leave. The ones they finish, they will ask you to contribute money. Those are the ones I'm referring to. But indeed, if you go out on for evangelism, as the Spirit directs you, right? You will know if you are inconveniencing people. If they say no, you probably will walk away as well, right? But you too, don't pretend that you don't know those ones I'm talking about. They can be very annoying. And they are also a bit of a stain on the body of Christ. I'm being sincere now. So I take it back that every one of them you see at the park, not all of them. But please, if you go out on evangelism, that you want to win soul, you want to talk to people about, about the kingdom of God and the rest of that, right? Just do so by asking for their permission. There's no point in using all this agidit to say, I know it's a spirit talking, evil spirit is inside you. There's no evil spirit anywhere. If somebody says, please, I'm not interested, don't suddenly turn to, you want to deliver them. You want to, But to those of you who are genuinely going out to win souls, talk to people, it's your way. I'm not condemning it all. Please. I will not go say, the person will not believe in God and the rest of that, and that could be your next topic. Not that, but I really want you to know that if you take it that way, I didn't mean it that way. Okay? So make you now continue to win souls for the temple too, this temple of truth. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'm going to see you later this evening, right? But I'm actually proposing, why don't we have our People's Parliament this evening? I mean, the way we do it is just that I will come on, give you some new updates, some loaded stuff, maybe for like an hour or an hour and a half. And we use the remaining hour and a half just to have the People's Parliament. Anyone who is interested? I'll see you later. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Like the broadcast before you leave, right? And good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Maiyegun dayari political. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Wọ́n bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà gbówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àníyàn sùràjù.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àníyàn súnrakì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.